Okay, we're live now. So, who wants to give us a recap of the last session?
We get up to.
Sorry, I have to text real quick. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Let me. So we started trying to decide whether or not we should go to where we should go in the village. T-Hole was pretty adamant about staying Elise Brewer, but Lucia Rossi was more convinced that we should go see Gruzza. So we went to go see Gruzza, and we started, after asking after kind of the events and of the disappearings in the village, trying to get kind of her take on it and how the villagers treat her or how they feel about her. She seemed generally dismissive and annoyed with the villagers, labeling most of the elves as idiots and just being racist. But she did get soft when it came to the topic of Samus Holbein. T-Hole learned that Samus doesn't have a beard, and he is majorly disappointed. He's much less excited about finding him now. And Gruzza hinted that hobgoblins are indeed a threat, and Samus was heading towards Fogtown, which is about 5 miles north, to find out some more information. We learned that Elise Brewer liked Elan, but everybody kind of likes Elan. He's kind of not trustworthy. He's just kind of plays every side. And when we learned from Elise, or from Gruzza, I believe, that when after Elise got attacked, she was covered in swamp gunk, when she returned. Then we, after we went outside the house, T-Hole cast Detect Magic, and he got overwhelmed with the magical auras of this area. And he was able to discern that it was coming from a tor. This tor, and there's just a bunch of them in this land, but this is one is far larger than most. It was covered with Ataran, which is an ancient language that predates the Empire. And the only word that T-Hole could make out was Dugar. And there were numbers that kind of glowed in different patterns, but there wasn't really any sense as to what the patterns were. We didn't spend enough time to look at it. Near it was a longhouse that burned to the ground. We were able to tell that it burned from the inside rather than the outside. And after rummaging through the rubble a bit, we found a lamp that was shattered. And it looked like, from the markings, this is where the fire began. And this was the chief of the village's house. After that, we made our way to see Clumpfavoons. Clumpfavoons? I have a tough time saying her name.
Clumpfavoons, yeah.
Clumpfavoons. And we talked with Drick, which was her husband. He was a little possessive over Clumpfavoons. And we kind of got the sense that he loved her so much, and he liked adventuring more, but dairy farming with Clumpfavoons is just as exciting. And then he kind of warned us to not get sweet on her. And when we came in, we saw why. Or when she came in, we saw why. She was a massive, scary looking woman. Or half orc, I guess. Or is she a full orc?
She's a half orc.
She's a massive half orc. And, she looked as strong as she is big. So I don't have any more notes regarding the topics that we talked about with Clumpfavoons.
So one thing that we did talk about was that there was the hut on the island that belonged to the shaman. Is that right?
That's right.
And like there are strange lights that are coming from it, which makes sense because when Lusharosi saw the lights the one night when he was keeping watch, he saw them in the direction of Graza's and figured that they were coming from Graza's. But now that we're at Clump Lagoons and based on what she said, it's much more likely that Lusharosi was seeing the lights coming from that direction of that place. Who is also somebody that went missing in all of this turmoil that's been happening in the town. Something that Lusharosi also picked up on was that while Graza had mentioned that she's friends and former adventuring buddies with Hector and Hector's wife, her response to the death of their children just recently is a little bit suspicious because one, she doesn't really know that information despite claiming to be close with them, but also that the fact that she doesn't really value their ideas about how they understand their children to have been killed and the one to go missing is a little bit suspicious. Lusharosi is not of the mind to necessarily bring it up to Hector and his wife because it probably would be more distress than worthwhile information at this point, but probably will be looking for further clues into what's going on there. And then also, Plumflavoons is very confident that Samus Holbein will be returning soon. And then also Samus was looking for an axe that had a carving of a boar. Was it a boar?
Yeah.
That he was searching for but hadn't yet found.
Okay. So you were getting ready to leave Clumflavoon's dairy. As you're still talking to her, she sort of walks over. She's got her arms akimbo and bent forward a bit to keep Trick's head pressed between her breasts as she grips him around the waist to keep him in the air a bit so his feet are off the ground. But she comes over and says, "Oh, I remember now. Can you find things that are not like other things?" Talking to Lusharosi.
When you say find things that are not like other things, what exactly do you mean? Can you give me an example?
You were asking if Samus had anything that was special.
Yes, through the magic or the gifts that Asheros has bestowed upon me, I have certain talents. One of them is that it allows me to find things on occasion through his guidance.
Because I wasn't thinking about it, but he did have a letter from his brother.
Really?
He thought it was a very important letter, so I don't know where he kept it, and I didn't see it, but he mentioned it on several occasions.
Did he say what was in the letter or his brother's name, perhaps?
He did not mention his brother's name, but it something in the letter convinced him that Gruzza was a murderer.
It may be difficult without more detailed information about what this letter might look like or the name of Samus's brother to find this, but certainly nothing is beyond Asheros, so it is possible.
If you do go into the swamps, you may also be able to find the morning star of Triandal.
Morningstar Triandal.
Triandal was the village chieftain, but his morning star was very hard black metal with gold around it and an image of a dragon and the sun symbols of your deity.
Why would it be in the swamp? That seems a silly place when he totally died in his hut.
It was his, however, it was being protected by his daughter who led the missing patrol. We could never find the patrol, but she had the Morning Star with her when they vanished.
This clarify? Did the chief die, or did the chief die in the fire?
Yes, everyone believes he died in the fire. His body was burned up.
There were no bones found. Typically, even if a body burns, the bones are still visible.
No one was able to find his body, so his grave was made without his remains in it. But the belief was he was in his longhouse when it caught fire.
Well, that sounds like you weren't thorough.
Well, Flumflaboons, this is very helpful information. Perhaps I might be able to do something if this weapon was somehow linked to Asheros, and based on the description you have given me, it might provide enough clarity to guide me with Asheros' blessing to this place, and we might be able to find more information about perhaps where your fellow villagers may have fallen.
So are we to go play with the dolls? That sounds fun.
You should know Triandal's brother was Amras the Mystic, and he spoke with Triandal's spirit. So we are certain he is dead.
That is unfortunate. But at the very least, if they are dead, we can bring their bodies back to be given the proper rights that they deserve.
The only way they could have known that he was dead is if they killed him themselves.
However, even you must know that there are things beyond understanding. Especially you must know that there are things beyond your understanding.
Nonsense. Everything is within my understanding. Hellweir's too.
All I know is that I wouldn't mind having a sharp metal stick to beat those dolls with. Hopefully we can find that morning star before we meet the dolls.
Kurt, what time of day is it by now? Is it kind of late in the day at this point?
It's probably mid-afternoon.
Okay. So, Clumflaboons, do you have any other helpful information that you might be able to provide to guide us as to our next decision as to how to proceed?
I would not. If you go to the swamp and go to Bogtown, that is easy to find, so that would make sense. I would not wander into the part of the swamp with the dolls, as you will get lost there.
What makes one get lost with these dolls?
It's not the dolls that make you get lost, but there is a path to get to Bogtown, and there are no paths through the southern part of the swamp. and everything looks very similar, and what paths there are submerged. So it becomes very easy in the darkness of the saltwater swamp to lose your position and to slowly change directions without realizing it.
Do you know
Very
anything
well.
about these dolls and who put them there?
The dolls were here long before Drick and I moved to town. So I do not know, but they have been there as far as I understand it for many, many years, even decades before I got here. I know that Amras talked about a time before there was a swamp and before there were the dolls. So he and his brother both knew of some time when the swamp was newly made and the dolls were not there. But I would expect them to have been there for many years.
Well, thank you, Clump of Boons. We will make sure that, if possible, we will avoid the swamp, unless we have found some way to safely navigate it.
If we find any elven children while in the marsh who play with the dolls, we will make sure to put them out of their misery as well.
Yes, it is. It is good if you kill the dolls.
Yes, Clump of Boons. I hope that was Helger's intent when he said that as well.
It was not.
Anyways,
Moving on.
are we going to see Elise, my soon-to-be lover?
You realize that Elise is married.
There are such things as polyamorous relationships. Back in my empire, that was a very okay thing. Why, I once had 4 wives at one point. I just started calling them all the same name because I could never get them straight. It was a glorious time. It's been rather lonely without my 4 wives. Some days I
Well,
miss them.
I am fine with going to see Elise. That is the that word that means everybody agrees. I forgot that word.
Okay, so you wander back to the road and over towards where Elise and Alec have their brewery. You can see that there's smoke coming out of the chimney. It's a largish and stout wooden building. You can almost immediately, when you get close to it, you're struck with a smell of a sweet, pungent scent of grain and a bitter scent of boiling hops. There's a rusted iron sign hanging by 2 loops on a steel chain from a bough of a gnarled tree that's right next to the building, and it reads Twisted Oak Brewery. There's an iron lamp that's currently dark, but sitting next to the door that you guess they light every night so that people can find the place.
So Lucirosi will approach the door and knock. Or is it a door that looks like it's just welcome for anybody to enter?
It looks like it's a business
Okay.
establishment.
So then Lucirosi will walk in then.
So you, as you open the door, you're assailed by even stronger smells of ale being brewed. There are several tables on the inside of a large common room, and then often to the one side, you see that there's a door that leads to what you're sure must be the brewery itself, as all of the odor seems to be coming through that doorway. It's currently open. You see an older woman, maybe late 40s, who is in the room. She is currently pouring ale into a cask. Can I help you?
Darling, I'll take one of your finest ales. And tea if you have it.
We don't have any tea, but I can get you an ale. Have a seat. I'll be with you in a moment. And she goes over to a wall where there are casks that are stacked up. One of which she is already tapped, and she grabs 4 mugs off of racks nearby. Fills 3 of them, puts them on a tray, and brings them over to you.
Wonderful.
That'll be 15 copper.
I hand her a. Would it make sense that I would have like some change, other than just like a gold piece?
Yeah.
So I'll hand her 20 copper.
She takes it. Thank you very much. If you would like another, I will be either here or in the back room. Just shout.
Are you Elise?
I am Elise Brewer.
You look quite well. I would have expected that you would have looking a little more shaken up after hearing of the trouble that you've been through with your last patrol and all.
Well, the whole town's been in trouble since, well, it wasn't my last patrol, but I take your meaning.
Does she appear somebody that can handle herself, or would be able to even fight, given her age and her look?
Give me an insight check.
Bam.
I mean, she doesn't look infirm, so you don't imagine she'd be a spectacular combatant, but could she, swing a club? Yeah, probably. But that not probably. You wouldn't guess much more. Everybody could have hidden skills, but she looks like maybe she'd be below average with a club.
Mm-hmm.
But she's, beefy enough that she could probably maybe take a punch.
All right, so I'll sip some of the ale. Does it taste like good ale?
Yeah, actually, it tastes very good.
So below my cowl, my eyes widen, and a genuine compliment comes from Lucirosi saying, "Ma'am, this is quite fine ale. The best I've tasted in a while. Thank you so much for brewing it."
Well, my husband's been a brewer for many generations in his family, so he takes his recipes very seriously. So tell me, why are you wandering through town? You'll be leaving soon, I assume?
Oh, maybe, but don't count on it.
Well, we don't
we
take
do-
kindly to strangers around here. She shakes her head as if she's judging all of you.
We do have business that should take us from town shortly, but given the troubles that seem to have been beset by the villagers here, we felt it our duty as capable adventurers to lend what aid we might be able to as we move onto our primary business.
So everybody give me another insight check.
Bam.
Ooh.
So,
T-Hole, you always fucking beat me.
Because I have one higher insight.
Lucifer
Yeah,
and Hellweir don't really notice this, but T-Hole, you pick up on the fact that she does not like hearing that you guys might be sticking around looking into things.
So T-Hole notices this, and he's like, Actually, yeah, I've been considering buying a house. There's plenty of bird ones on the way here that, I could make them bigger and better.
As I said, we don't take too kindly to strangers around these parts. And competent adventurers, or whatever it is you wish to call yourselves, isn't exactly inspiring.
Inspiring? What would you mean by that?
I mean, outsiders are trouble. Adventurers are trouble. Outsider adventurers are triple the trouble.
You know what was trouble? Is all these house burnings. All these houses burned down. And
Well,
it was not outsiders that did it. I feel bad for the families who have to come back and find that their ruins are their homes are just in hovels.
I doubt you'll find they're coming back at this point. They've been missing for a long time now, most of them. And the ones who are recently disappeared are in the same trouble as the ones who disappeared a long time ago. I am not sanguine about seeing them again.
Miss Elise, perhaps being a local brewer, I'm sure that you hear quite a bit about the gossip and whatnot. Might you have some information that would help us be on our way sooner?
I have no ear or time for gossip, young man.
At that, he kind of chuckles. It has been quite some time since I've been confused for young. Thank you.
I was like, and T-Hole remarks, I'm genuinely surprised. A beauty like you, I would imagine that you would be the centerpiece of the town.
Maybe when I was younger, and at that point, everybody make me an insight check. But she trips, her foot catches like the corner of a chair that you're sitting in.
Freaking hell.
So you basically all see that this is really a feint on her part. She really intended to trip and sort of awkwardly swings her foot into the chair. And as she tumbles, she grabs at Lucia Rossi's hood. So she's going to try to grab the hood and pull it down as she falls. So you can make either an athletics check to grab the hood and hold it up or an acrobatics check to avoid her grabbing at you. But she's making essentially a dexterity check to try to grab your hood.
I don't think I would be too concerned about keeping it up, so I'll just let it happen.
Okay. So she successfully grabs your hood and yanks it down, and then falls and moves with more grace than you might expect for her onto her back as she looks up to see your face.
And then I kind of stare calmly and offer my hand and ask, "Are you quite all right, ma'am?"
And she sits there silently for a second, sort of taking in your face. She doesn't look scared necessarily, but she's absorbing the details, definitely.
Can you describe what your face looks like again? Because I forgot.
Yeah. So basically, I have a face very much like a lion, with kind of golden, slightly glowing eyes, with a pretty thick mane that seems to be bigger than it should be given what was hidden beneath the hood. And the mane is kind of like a silvery color, but refracts in the light to give it the appearance of kind of a rainbow sort of glow that kind of changes based on the movement of the hair and the way that the light might kind of change or the angles that it's hitting off of the hair.
Gotcha. So you got like a rainbow hood. Like a rainbow. They got a rainbow mane.
Yeah.
A manebow?
A main bone. So yeah, I continue to hold out my hand, and as she notices, and I see her noticing my appearance, I say, I apologize if my appearance startles you. I am one of the Celestials, or what is it? Is that it? The Celestials?
Yeah, I mean, you're technically you're a humanoid, but you're descended from. She, with her 13, smacks your hand away and then pulls herself up.
I politely ask her, "May I have my hood back, please?"
Oh, I assumed it was like attached to something, so she just yanked it back.
Oh, okay.
Off completely.
All right. So then I'll replace it then.
That was a very graceful trip. I commend you. Were you a gymnast?
Well, when you get old, sometimes your grace disappears and deserts you.
Oh, I don't think it's disappeared, my lady.
Well, I have a lot of brewing to do, so please finish up your beers. I'm afraid we probably don't have time for you to get another one, so finish up what you have and show yourselves out.
Can I make an insight check to see if I kind of gleaned anything from the way that she looked at me? Like what kind of feelings might have been going through her mind?
Yeah, sure, go ahead. You're not really sure.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
So
you can all make it to see what she's scheming.
All right. Hey, I might know something.
Ah, man.
Jesus.
I mean, Hellware, you are absolutely sure that this might sound unhelpful, but it's almost as if when she was staring at him, she had like a really far away look in her eyes, like she was completely zoned out. But you get a sort of sense that maybe something was sort of seeing through her eyes.
I think she likes you, Lucirosi.
It is not uncommon for those that gaze upon me to be smitten.
Oh, yes.
It is one of the reasons that I keep this hood up, as to not distract others.
So that's quite unfortunate, T-Hole. You seemed quite the picker.
Well, first is the worst, second is the best. I can take second. Actually, Elise, I was hoping you could tell us a little bit about the patrol that you were on that went missing, and your experience in the swamp.
Yes, we all have our hopes, don't we? She says as she leaves the room.
So as she leaves the room, I look at my companions and I state, clearly, you all noticed that, correct? Her faint at the trip.
I'll say, oh yeah. I'm like, she really has the hots for you. I say it very loudly. And I'm a little jealous. Old man T-Hole's being beaten out of his own game. But I'll get her wet.
T-Hole, I must admit, I know the words that you are speaking, but the combinations with which that you say them make very little sense to me.
Lucirosi, you need to get laid more.
I think
the thing is, his hood is up because you would see him blushing a bit.
Maybe we could find you some wives. That always makes it feel better.
I think so far the greatest mystery of this town is why does a brewer's wife have the last name Brewer if they weren't always meant to be a brewer? I am quite confused.
I think what is perhaps more concerning is how strongly she has reacted to us being here.
This brewery, when we were coming up, did we see like a companion house? Like, could we tell if like they lived in the brewery or if they lived near it?
You didn't see a second house. You would gather, though, it's 2 stories. It's likely they live on the second story.
Okay. Do we looking around the room? Do I see stairs or?
No, not in the room you're in. It would be sort of customary to have stairs up to the living area in the brewery itself, where you wouldn't necessarily have customers.
Okay.
So Lucia Rossi begins to completely gulp down the rest of his ale and says, perhaps we should leave before we completely wear out our welcome with Miss Elise.
We can take her.
This isn't about taking her, Hellweir. This is about maintaining politeness and the customs of our hosts.
All right. Well, T-Hole can take her.
Yes, I can. Hellweir's talking my language now.
Asheros, I know that you have sent me here for a reason, but I question your wisdom at times.
I would like to rummage through her knicker drawers.
Especially at times like this.
That's where important items are usually kept. Items that they don't want other people to see. And then I turn to kind of lean in, and I'm like, I think she has something to hide, and I would really like to search her room.
While that may yield some useful information, or perhaps information that we have no business seeing, I don't see any reason to break these people's trust or to act outside the law.
It should be only fair. She attacked you, so we shall knock her unconscious while we look around.
She did not attack me. She just wanted to see who I was.
I did not see it that way. So,
People
should we
can
go
be
knock her out?
suspicious. No. People can be suspicious around cowled individuals. It is natural. People who hide their faces often have other things to hide. I am used to it.
T-Hole, I want to try to like tiptoe to the back room where the brewery is. I like to stealth and try to get like a look.
And I plan on distracting Lucia Rossi so he doesn't try to stop him.
So I mean, you can make it up to the door pretty easily. She's not watching you through the doorway. The door is still open. She didn't close it when she went in. Inside, you can see there are 6 very large vats, and she is currently standing on a ladder next to one of the vats with a. She looks like she's maybe stirring it. It's hard to tell exactly what she's doing because she's up doing something inside the vat with a tool.
How big is the brewery?
The room you're looking at now, the actual brewery room, is about 40 feet long and 20 feet wide.
Okay, like 40 feet long, what I'm looking at, not 40 feet lengthwise.
Right.
Okay.
I'd like to see or hear how Hellweir is trying to distract Lucia Rossi.
I'm sort of like got my arms out and like trying to block as much room in the room with just my body.
So you're trying to distract Lucirosi by making it very clear as to what he's hiding.
Yeah, pretty much.
You can hear Lucirosi just sigh and look to you guys and say, "I will wait outside while you do whatever it is that you do."
Let's see. Oh, my stealth isn't so good, so I don't know if I want to roll on that. I don't have any.
If it's for the knickers, you just have to do it. Like,
I mean,
doesn't matter.
Your stealth.
Are we playing D&D or is this Animal House?
Your stealth may not be so good, but you imagine she's probably a commoner. So how good can her perception be?
Yeah, I don't know, especially if she's doing something. So can I see the stairs from here?
No, but you would, just from the sort of layout of the house, you imagine they would have to be along. They're basically being blocked, you expect, by 3 of the vats.
Okay.
If we called her back out, would it be easier to get behind her?
It's given. I mean, she's not necessarily blind, and she's got peripheral vision, so there's nowhere to hide easily in this room. Like, she wouldn't just walk past you and not notice you were pressed up against the wall next to the door.
All right, let's have a try.
You know, although somebody who was like right next to the door might be able to like headbutt her unconscious without her seeing who it was.
That's true. But that we want to make.
And Luciarosi's not here; he's outside. So.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
What kind of ears does she have?
She's human.
Ah, damn it.
And she climbs down off her ladder and moves over and climbs up to the top of another vat and sticks some sort of pitcher in and begins swirling some of the liquid inside around and sniffing it, then dumps it back out and then reaches down and takes this large flat stick she was using in the other vat and sticks it into this new vat and begins doing something.
T-Hole kind of retreats back and says to Hellier, "Is like, I don't think this is the right way to. I think if we're going to truly raid her room, we have to do it in a less expected way. We should climb the house."
Climb. Is she on a ladder? Yeah.
Yeah.
How high is the ladder?
Each of the vats is probably about 10 feet high, so the ladder goes up a little bit more than that, maybe 12 or 13 feet. But it's at an angle, so.
If I pushed off the ladder, would she die?
No, almost certainly not die. I mean, if she falls into the vat, who knows? But if she falls down to the floor, she'd probably just hurt herself.
Okay. Knowing this, Hellier walks up to through to the door and past the thing, and says, "Watch out!" And he pushes the ladder over.
Well, she's a bit further back. She's not right on the other side of the door. She's 30 feet into this room, this 40-foot long room.
And can she see me as I walk through?
Yeah, she's in a position where she can see the door.
And I say, Elise, there's something below you. And I run over towards the ladder and shoulder barge it.
Okay. Give me an athletics check.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
So
She's dead. I killed her.
you definitely knock the ladder out. Let's see if she's able to recover. So you knock the ladder out. She is able, seeing you run over, she is able to sort of grab onto the lip of the barrel itself. So you knock the ladder out from under her, but she is now sort of hanging down from the lip of the barrel, which, as I said, the top of the barrel is about 10 feet above the floor. So she's able to drop the remaining 3 feet unharmed. And lands on her feet and says, "What do you think you're doing? Get out of my brewery now!" And she takes her flat stick and she smacks you with it.
Okay. Like, there was a rat. It was running around, but okay. I shall leave.
Yeah, her attempt at causing you damage with her flat stick, not very good.
All right. Yeah, just walk away. All right. Mission accomplished.
Well, we might be back. I say that to Hellweir. I kind of like so she wouldn't hear. Because I'm assuming like she's like hitting him with a stick, like get out, get out, get out.
Yeah. She is now well, she's not continuing to hit him, but she is now walking behind him with her stick.
Yeah. I'm like visually angry, but I'm keeping myself calm enough so I don't turn on her.
And then and then you know, T-Hole just walks out as well. He says, "Goodbye, my dear. May we meet again soon."
Move along, hobos.
All right.
So we walk out.
Yeah.
And tell Lucirosi, well, we'll have to raid her room the old-fashioned way.
How about we not raid her room and say that we didn't?
Well, then you can miss out on all the juicy clues that are there. Because she's definitely hiding something.
And you can see now there is you can see actually Alec Brewer, her husband, is leading a cart and a mule across the bridge nearby. Headed in this direction.
Is that he's coming from town?
He's coming from the other side of the river. I mean, this is all part of the village.
Gotcha.
So he's coming from the west or the east, I mean.
Yeah.
Well, we better leave before he gets angry that we're trying to look through his wife's panties.
Yeah. Actually, as I'm assuming that we're gonna walk back towards town. Like, what is away from town at this point?
Well, you are essentially kind of in the middle of the village itself. I mean, the village arguably starts about here and ends over at the windmill, so it's all around this road.
Yeah.
So you know that this is Hector and Palace's farm. You don't know what any of these buildings here are, and you know that this is the inn.
Okay.
So you've kind of been in like the middle part of the village.
So Lucirosi turns to the group and says, I think I would like to, before we conclude our business here in the town, I think it only responsible of us to also check out the chieftain's home right here.
Right, that's the Mystic's home. The chieftain lived in the long
right.
house.
Chieftain lived right there. Mystic lived right there. All right.
Is there a way that we can get there? Like, do we need a boat, or can we like just? Is there like a land bridge somewhere?
There's no bridge that you saw.
What about like a low tide kind of thing that we can just like walk across?
You've not seen any tides in this lake. I mean, you might be able to swim across. It's not super far. It's a couple between like the forge and the island itself is probably 200 yards, 600 feet or so.
Okay.
So yeah, let's walk back. Let's walk that way. And then as we pass Alec, T-Hole stops Alec. He's like, Alec, we tried speaking with your wife. She was, she's a tough nut to crack. But I have a mission for you now that you've given a mission to us.
Oh, okay. Whatever I can do to help.
I have a hunch that she's hiding something.
Like, what do you believe she's hiding?
I think she's hiding. I think she's hiding the truth of what happened when she was attacked. But
that was my fear. Did you follow her? She went on one of her walks last night.
We did not follow her last night, although maybe we could do that tonight if we decide to stay in town. But I have a very important mission for you. Okay. And I know that you're the perfect man for it because there could be nobody else. I need you to raid her knicker drawers. And in them, or near them, must be a diary. A cataloging of events from her perspective. Now, all the women, all my 4 wives were all about their knicker drawers. And I was too. So that's where I would look.
She doesn't wear knickers. I mean, linen costs money, and we're very frugal.
So she has. Oh, well, whatever drawer. Yeah, whatever drawer that she contains that can be the most personal drawer, I guess.
I will definitely look around. I mean, she never kept a diary before, but maybe she's hiding one.
Well, traumatic events tend to change people, especially when you're dealing with emotions that may be outside your normal purview.
If you do want to follow her, I think she usually goes on her walk around sometime between 11 and midnight, or 11 and 1 in the morning, probably.
Okay. I mean, we can stalk your wife, too.
I definitely think that she is acting a bit suspicious, and given that she's been going on these walks despite the dangers, I think it would be worthwhile to see what might be going on. But first, I still believe that we need to visit the Mystic's home and see if there might be any link to these strange lights that are happening.
Oh, of course. And I just was wanting to talk with Mr. Alec here since he was passing by. Well, let me tell you, you have the best beer that I've had in this town. It was delicious.
Oh, yes.
Any beer you had in the village would have been mine. I mean, even Haverford really is selling my ales.
There you go. It was the best ale I've had in the village. And we were cut a little short. At least didn't take too kindly. Especially, Lucia Rossi being a hooded figure and all. It kind of makes even the most stoic people tremble a little bit. But she cut us off a little too soon. And maybe we could come back for another round later.
Well, yeah, come by whenever you like, and I'll make sure that there's an ale waiting for you.
Oh, great. Domo arigato.
Let me just see something really quick. Certainly T-Hole, maybe Lucia Rossi as well. I don't have what's everybody's passive perceptions?
16.
15.
11.
Okay, so Lucia Rossi and Eagle, while you're talking to Alec, you notice that Elise is staring out a window, scowling at you all.
I turn and blow her a kiss.
While she's doing that, I'm actually going to use this opportunity to use my divine sense to see if I see maybe anything strange going on within her. If maybe there's some kind of corrupting presence.
Let me see something. Hold on. I would say it's you do get a certain vibe from her. It's not something you've experienced before because it's not exactly as if she's corrupted. She seems to be human. But it's almost like by way of analogy, almost like a weird kind of aftertaste of her being corrupted.
So that's just going to reinforce Lucia Rossi's suspicions even further. And this is not something I've ever encountered before?
No, you've never encountered something like this.
Okay. So I'm not going to mention this now in front of Alec. But, yeah.
And just so you're aware, Clump Lagoons, or Drick rather, did mention Clump Lagoons having a rowboat.
Perhaps she'll allow us to borrow it. T-Hole, I'm sure you can use your charms on her.
She's not really my type.
Yes, and probably best that Drick wouldn't see you putting any moves on her.
Hellweir could just headbutt her unconscious.
And we can take it.
So T-Hole suggests let's see if the rowboat at Clump of Wounds rowboat she's willing to let it be borrowed. While I have no problem swimming, I would rather avoid getting wet, if possible.
Yes, indeed. It's not exactly easy to swim in armor, and I'd be remiss to just leave it on the shore.
So let's go. I think that then we all walk to
Clump of Wounds, yeah.
Clump of Wounds.
So you head from the brewery back over to Clump Lagoon. By the time you get there, it's starting to get a little bit later in the afternoon. It'll probably get dark in an hour or so.
Perfect. Lucia Rossi will be looking for Clump Lagoons. Do we see her? Is she in her?
She's inside in the main store. And as soon as you open the door, she says, "Would you like to bow? Hey, guys."
Hello, Clump Lagoons. We were curious after your mention of the ancestral spirits at the Mystic's home. We thought that perhaps we might check it out. Perhaps with Asheros's guidance, I might be able to exorcise those spirits to a final rest. But we were wondering if we noticed that there was a rowboat outside.
Can we borrow it?
No, yeah, you wouldn't have seen it, but she mentioned it.
Oh, she mentioned it.
Yeah.
So, then in that case, I remember you mentioning a rowboat. Might we borrow it to go and check out the Mystic's home?
Yes, of course. I mean, it really could be very dangerous to go there. I mean, magic. I have encountered ghosts before, and I watched them many years ago age a friend of mine to death, right before all of our eyes. They can be very dangerous. I really would suggest strongly that you wait until Seamus Holbein gets back. But
Swords can be dangerous too.
Yes,
Go.
but swords can. It's very hard to kill you with a sword. But with
Perhaps for
age,
some.
everyone dies of age eventually. Not everyone dies of a sword.
Ghosts are just mages' illusions. There is no need to be scared of nothing.
Except evil wizards.
Yeah, except evil wizards.
But Clump Laboons, we appreciate your concern, and we understand that you believe that Samus will be returning soon. But at the same time, we have limited time to act because we wish to make sure that we're able to address these disappearances before another one happens. And for that reason, I believe I speak for my companions in stating that we accept the risk in seeing what information might be gleaned from the Mystic's home.
Well, you can certainly borrow the rowboat. I hope nothing happens. It's if you go across the cow pasture to the shore of the lake, at the far end of the cow pasture, you'll find the boat.
Thank you, Clump Laboons. It is much appreciated.
So across the cow pasture, actually, it's a pretty decent distance. It's about a mile's walk because she has a lot of land. But you are able to make your way across and do find the rowboat over here on the shore.
All right. Well,
Oh, wow. So then it's either drag the rowboat across all that land or row around the shore.
how heavy is the boat?
Like any rowboat, it's pretty weighty. Like it probably weighs 400 pounds.
Well, I've used my crit, so I'm not going to be lifting it anytime soon.
I say it would probably be faster to just row. Less resistance, and does it seem that the lake is calm?
Yeah, you haven't seen waves really. I mean, little ripples here and there, but not real waves.
So given that, I think it's best that we just row.
So you get in the boat and proceed to sail out, and the current sweeps you away. No, you're fine.
And away we go.
So it's starting. It's proper dark actually by the time you reach the shores of this. Hold on. So you may need some light, but you are basically down here. You see that the rocky island itself seems to, for the most part, extend up out of the lake like it is just like a plateau of rock. There is a very limited stretch of beach on which you see stones that is kind of right in front of you as you're rowing in. There are other little strips of beach, but it doesn't appear as though there's a stairwell to get up on top of the plateau. Not that a 10-foot climb would be super complicated, but this appears to be the portage for this island.
All right. Although I know that I can see in the dark, I know that my companions have a bit more trouble, and so I cast light upon my gauntlet and hold it up to provide a bit of illumination.
Yeah, that sounds useful.
And T-Hole will also cast light upon his quarterstaff, like Gandalf.
Okay, so I'll represent that just by giving you torches. And you can see now that you're on the island and have pulled the rowboat in. Off in the distance, you see what looks to be an elf, very pale, very his at least his hair is very pale white, and he just appears to be staring at you now. But everybody, give me a perception check.
Nice.
So you all see in his hands, he appears to be holding either it's probably a mace or again a morning star. But as you watch him, he turns and begins just to walk away.
Hey, you there?
He is paying you no attention whatsoever.
Does he look like he's corporeal?
Yep, as near as you can tell.
I'm gonna run over to him. Start running that way. Is he like in this direction? I didn't really see him very clearly.
Yeah, he was in that direction and seemed to move off towards what on this map would be the upper left-hand side.
All right, so then moving. I don't know. Do you want to limit how much I'm moving before the next thing happens?
No, you can. I mean, move yourself, but I guess you don't move too far so everybody else can move.
Yeah.
T-Hole won't run, but he'll just kind of.
Yeah, I'm gonna pretty much just stay around T-Hole because he's got the light.
Lucia Rossi also had a light.
Yeah, I'll just follow T-Hole.
Hellware, I'm surprised. You're normally always looking to.
I've got a bow.
Act as the aggressor.
Yeah, I draw my bow and I draw a shot, but I'm not going to shoot it yet.
You should be able to move the torches with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I see. Yep. Oh, cool.
Oh, I thought it was attached to me.
Actually, I could attach them to you, but then that gets to be a little bit of a pain.
Yeah, that's.
Wait, do I have a torch?
Yes. Here, hold on.
Oh, there it is. I see it now. This guy.
Yeah. And for some reason, see, it didn't move. One of the weird things about it didn't move with you. It just sort of increased the size of your little group on the screen.
Huh.
So now that you've moved forward, you're about where he was standing, but you don't see him.
We don't see him anymore?
No.
Do we see any footprints?
Survival check.
Oh, that's me.
You do not see any footprints.
Oh man.
And in fact, you would notice that although this ground is very rocky, and you can see there are exposed patches of rock everywhere, a fairly hard granite. But this path that you're on, there is a fair bit of loose earth that's scattered across it, and it's fairly moist earth. So you feel like even an elf, light and insubstantial as they are, probably should have left a footprint. Now maybe he's trying to be stealthy.
It's true.
No, this seems it's a wizard's illusion. We should not worry, unless there is a wizard here, of course.
Yes.
Although ahead of you up here, you do see that there appear to be another set of stairs.
So out of T-Hole's curiosity is piqued, and he's going to head towards those stairs. Let's see, where did there it is.
You're gonna throw your torch into the
Yeah, technically you can drag across and pick up both of you and the torch and move in.
That would be too much work.
Oh, we're just still moving the torch.
What?
Did all the torches go out? There we go.
And as you start to climb the stairs, you can see beyond the stairs there appears to be a ring of standing stones. They appear to be a little bit rougher than the standing stone that Alcator is named after. However, they're pretty substantial. I mean, each of these things probably weighs several tons. And they are arranged kind of Stonehenge style, so they form arches as you approach. And in the center of the ring, you can see there is this pale-skinned elf.
Oh, in the center of the ring, yeah.
There he is.
So I go out and like, you know, to the center of the ring and I like shine my light on him.
So you're now staring him in the face as he looks back rather impassively, coldly at you.
What? Oh, here it is.
You should not be here.
Oh, really? Where should I be?
You should be among your own kind.
My own kind are dead. They died a long time ago after my empire changed hands.
Then you should still be among your own kind.
I'll say to him, we do not mean to trespass. We understood that the mystic who had lived here is gone.
Amras is not here. But he left me here so that I could watch for your coming.
So you were expecting us?
He was expecting you to come. I am still uncertain that you are worthy. You should not have our crown.
What
I'm
is
sorry,
your
what'd you-
crown?
I was the chieftain of this village. You should not have my crown.
What happened to your house?
My house was burned.
Did you
Why
know that
have you come? Why are you here? You can't stop the darkness.
the darkness?
Amras was wrong. Amras should never have expected that you would be worthy inheritors.
It's sad to see a man of such little faith.
And
Good
as-
thing Rosie has twice as much for you.
As you're talking to him, you can see that his form is growing paler and less substantial.
Forgive us, but you speak in riddles. We are not here except to investigate the disappearances that have been happening.
And everybody roll initiative.
Excellent. I've been waiting for this.
As you see, his face begins to twist and warp. Hold on. Why does it say this?
Wow. I did have another crit.
The torch
Yeah.
is going first.
I'm going to get rid of the torches one. Hold on a second. Why are you not letting me do this?
I'm gonna grab some pretzels really quick.
Oh, I get advantage with initiation as well. I'm pretty sure with the ranger thing, but it doesn't matter because I already got the best roll.
Mike, you said you had to go at 10.
that's true.
I can stay on a little bit longer. Definitely 10:30. That was going to be my cutoff point.
Okay. Okay, so everyone can roll initiative. Just try not to roll for the torch.
Oh.
I got 11.
21.
Maybe was I rolling for the torch?
I don't know who it was. Actually, you have to. For some reason, it didn't come up on the turn order, so I can add it artificially.
Okay.
How do you write that in?
I thought like you had to add people, and then if you roll initiative after you've been added, it automatically populates it.
Ordinarily, if you click on your character and hit the initiative thing, it should come up. If it's not doing that, I don't know why, because it always did it before. But you do have to be clicked on your token on the screen.
Oh, so
maybe
you
that's
have
it.
to select. You have to select it.
Right, you select the
There
token.
it is. That works.
I
Yeah,
can't
did-
select. There's something wrong with the way that I'm selecting my guy.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's because I grouped you with the torch,
Watch.
which is still way down at the bottom of the screen. So let's say if I ungroup you now, and I'll get rid of your torch. Now you should be able to do it.
All right. There
Like I
we
said.
go.
Like I said, if you group things with the torch, everything gets weird.
Oh. Excuse me.
You actually had an 11. So Hellweir goes first.
All right. I shoot my bow. And here's my roll.
So you see there is a disruption of the spectral form that's now standing in front of you.
Mhm.
What's your damage?
My damage is that. Does that do damage? No. How do I roll damage? Do I just have to roll it manually, like 1d8 plus whatever?
No, not normally, but I think it's not set to roll damage automatically for you. Let me just check.
So are we seeing two spectral? Are we seeing the elf and the specter thing?
No, the elf disappeared. Is he still on the
Okay.
screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. He actually vanished. He transformed, rather, into this other one. Yeah, okay. For some reason, your character sheet was set to don't auto-roll damage.
Oh, okay.
So I've changed that.
All right, sweet. Well, I did the auto roll, the actual roll, so that's it there.
Okay.
Which is 5.
So you don't think your arrow did as much damage as it would have if he were flesh and blood? Seagull's turn.
Yep.
Teal turns to him and kind of flourishes his hand, and he out pop 3 kind of white glowing orbs, and they shoot at him. So magic missile.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, you want to send it to you have to click the person. You want to send the result of this roll to the turn tracker, but no valid token was selected. Do I have to select my own token and then do click it?
For initiative, yeah, but I added you manually to the initiative tracker.
Okay. So is magic missile doesn't require like there's no like D20 for that, right?
No, it automatically hits and it just does damage.
Okay, 10 damage. Cool.
And the ghost, I think I know what it'll do. So the ghost face twists and warps and seems to expand. Everybody give me a wisdom save. Hey, Hello, do you want to use an action point?
For sure. Can I use it?
You have one more action point.
Yeah, let's use it.
Nice.
Okay. So you feel sort of waves of just draining energy come wash over you as you can feel he's trying to instill fear deep in your soul, but it does not seem to take. And that's his turn.
Oh, phew. I am never afeared.
Technically, it's Lucerosi's turn now.
All right. So what I will do is you notice that my fists grow incredibly large, and almost like massive, like wrecking balls. And he proceeds to attack the ghosts with these fists. So, let's see. Where am I? So my first attack will be that.
It appears to hit.
And then my bonus action with 2 weapon fighting will be that.
That seems to pass through him, doing nothing.
All right. And then with the first hit, I am going to burn a 2nd level spell. Does this count as one of the things that would get the extra D8?
What gets the D8 again?
Fiends and undead.
Yes, it would.
All right. So then, how do I do the damage? Is it that? That do it?
No, you probably have the same thing. Hold on.
All right.
It's for some reason and it's probably me. It's probably the way I set things up, not anything you guys did. But it's not auto calculating damage because there's a setting for that. And I thought I had set the game so that it would do that automatically. But from now on, it should. You'll just have to manually roll this time.
All right. All right. So let me see. Manually roll D8. So then that's 11 damage from thoughts, and then with the divine smite, an additional 21 radiant.
Splat.
You can see there is a flash of light as this glowing presence in front of you seems almost like it catches on fire and begins to burn. And there's a howl into the air as it does so. But it doesn't completely dissipate and reforms in its spot, glaring back at you now. And it's Hellweir's turn.
Lucerossi yells, "By Asheros, you will be defeated!"
All by my sword. And he runs up with his great sword and slashes at the ghost.
Lucia Rossi makes an offhand comment. About time, Hellweir. But one time we need your strength and you hide back with your bow.
Did I actually do 15 points of damage?
Yes, that's what it's saying.
Holy shit.
It's +5 for your strength, and then you did 10 base damage with the sword. If you put the cursor over the roll, it'll show you how it calculated it.
Oh, nice.
So again, it passes through the form of the creature, and you can see the ghost is somewhat disrupted by the attack, but you feel like you would have killed most people with that.
Oh yeah. I'll use a do I have an action surge and go again.
Okay.
So do I have to click on that? No, I don't.
No,
Okay,
no,
cool.
just use it.
Great sword.
That does not seem to affect it. It passes through its form, but doesn't disrupt it.
Okay. Yeah, and that's me.
T-Hole's turn again.
T-Hole turns to Lucia Rossi, and he kind of does like an upwards motion, like a maestro, and he casts True Strike on Lucia Rossi.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So you do that. Triandal screams at you all.
Oh, shoot. I should have got... I forgot that I have extra attack. Oh, well.
So you can take another attack now. That's fine.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's not gonna die apparently.
Or he will die.
No, we will die right now.
So if that hits, I'm also going to use a first level spell for Divine Smite.
Yeah, it hits. And you can see it that greatly. Well, this would have actually happened before the greatsword attack, but it greatly disrupts the form of the ghost, though it seems to still be holding on. And it glaring at the three of you screams, "You are not worthy!" And it reaches out and let me just see what happens. So make me a Hellweir, make me a charisma save.
Is that good enough?
It is not. So, okay, I will, rather than whisper this to you, you see the ghost sort of expands and reaches out and sweeps over Hellweir, and then there's just like a mist of the ghost just moves past and through and seems to vanish. But Hellweir, you are now possessed by the ghost of Triandal. And you feel just a burning rage that these interlopers think that they are entitled to your crown. So you're going to try to kill them.
Okay, just 1 second. What's up? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm back.
So yeah, you want,
okay.
you want to kill these two.
Yeah.
And yourself, but you'll take care of them
and
first.
myself. Okay. Yeah.
Thank God I didn't cast True Strike on Hellweir. I was considering it.
But it's Lucia Rossi's turn now.
And I'm glaring at you. I'm like, if you had elf ears, I'd be wearing them. And I'm like shaking in rage.
It's worse than that because you.
It's worse than that.
Yeah, you are Triandal. You are this elf. This elf has taken over Hellweir.
Oh no, I hate myself.
So, seeing that this has happened, I am going to cast Hold Person on Hellweir.
I mean, and anybody, if you're proficient in it, you can make like a religion check now. So how? Well, that technically it's the this is a wisdom save, so the ghost will be able to use its wisdom. So I'll make the saving throw.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah. If it was a physical thing, I'd have you do it because. So that you are held.
I'm still shaking violently.
And then with it being held, I shout out, "By the light of Asheros, leave my friend now!"
So T-Hole, here's what you would know about ghostly possession. It can last for years. Ghosts can possess essentially any humanoid. Some are a little more talented and can possess animals, but any humanoid. And while there are things that can drive it out, it's fairly high level. They can't, however, possess something that's dead or dying. So that usually drives them out. If you nearly kill the thing that they're in, they'll usually flee. You might, however, be able to get creative with action points. Like an action point and protection from evil, I would say would be enough to drive it out. Something like that.
I wish I would have. I wish I would have memorized protection from evil and prepared it.
Too bad. Have to just nearly kill him now.
Yeah, I have it. I just can't. I don't have it prepared.
Right, or he kills you. That will also end the combat.
All right. So I relay to Lushirosi. Our only options are to either nearly kill him, or kill him, or hopefully Asheros, for all the good he's doing, can help you out here.
Can I use an action point, or I'm willing to burn both of them if need be, to spontaneously cast protection from good and evil?
I would let you use both of them to essentially prepare the spell in lieu of something else you have prepared.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to do that then and cast protection from good and evil on Hellware.
Okay. In combination with spending the action points, I will let that happen. Although you already cast Hold Person, and then it was Hellware's turn, but he can't do anything. So it's actually T-Hole's turn.
Okay. Well, then I'll let T-Hole go, and then I'll do that. I'll drop the Hold Person and cast that.
Okay.
So T-Hole, do you have anything that you would want to do before I cast the protection from evil and good?
Hellware's yelling.
I'm thinking about it.
I'm gonna wear that golden boy's pelt.
Well, nothing that I think would be terribly helpful. So I'm assuming that you used that True Strike was used.
No, he cast a spell instead.
Yeah,
okay.
So I wasn't able to use it because I cast the Hold Person.
All right. So I'm gonna cast. So wait, does Hellweir wear any kind of helmet or like headdress?
Yeah, he normally wears like a wolf pelt hood.
Okay, I'm gonna cast light on your wolf pelt hood.
I just imagine, because it's a touch spell, so you're just kind of, as an old man, walking over with your cane, your quarterstaff, and just kind of going, boop, boop.
The ghost fails to save, so it's still held. Now you can cast protection from evil.
All right. So then I cast that on Hellware. So I kind of, my hands kind of go like this, creating a circle in the air that begins to glow like a sun. And through that, I did push my hand through it, and with my glowing gauntlet, touch Hellweir over his heart.
Demons live in the brain. Didn't they teach you that in seminary school?
Lushirosi is too focused on the spell at the moment to.
I'm trying very hard to bite him, but I can't move.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're paralyzed. Otherwise, you could definitely get him in your tongue. But you can feel inside now that this spell has been cast that the ghost is being sort of pushed out of you, but it hasn't quite happened yet. It is fighting to stay in, but it is going to be forced out on its next turn. And you're still stuck, so it's T-Hole's turn if you want to cast light on something else.
well, Hellweir wouldn't be stuck because I had to end my concentration on the whole person.
Oh, okay. I didn't think that. So, okay, so Hellweir, you are free to bite him, but you feel like you probably will be free of him on its next turn.
All right, yeah, I'll bite him.
I mean, I don't know how you do that because it's you. He's still inside you, but you could bite you.
I bite me. Here we go. Here's my bite.
Okay, that's 1 point of damage plus your strength mod.
Ow.
You do 6 points of damage to yourself.
D-Hole's just really confused. He just sees like Hellweir just like Arr!
No, I would say you sense that although ghosts are somewhat resistant to this kind of damage, you also equally damaged him, subject to his resistance.
Hell yeah. All right, sweet.
And then it is his turn, and he is pushed back out into the world. But he is going to now, angry at Lushirosi, you see his hand sort of extends outward, and he reaches out towards you.
Oh.
Okay. So with that, let's see. My arm class is 18, so that hits. So with that, I kind of stagger at the thing's touch.
And it's your turn.
All right. All right, so I am going to continue to press my attack. So thoughts, and prayers.
Those all hit. Probably, in fact, you didn't even need that many hits. But, I mean, were you going to smite on all of them or any of them?
Let me see how many more spell slots I got. Probably running relatively low. So, yeah, I'm only going to smite once with a first level slot. So then that is...
Okay, so he reaches out and inflicts his withering touch on you, and you then bring thoughts across and down onto him, passing through him again, and once again his form is dispersed and seems to be burning in divine fire, and does not come back together as you hear it scream and say, "I am not ready to leave," and then it vanishes completely.
Whether you're ready or not,
Here I
it's
come.
time to go. And then Luciorosi will turn to Helweir and place a hand up on his shoulder and be like, "Are you okay?"
He looks at you like with like an angry glare and just turns. The stupid wizard and his stupid illusions.
He's fine.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what you can gather.
Alright.
So we're kind of gonna look around this circle.
So you see that there is a circle of, it's basically, there's a fairy circle inside the stone circle of some sort of fungus. But whatever, I mean, you can make a religion check to see if you know the religious significance, but it probably has something to do with elves and their spirit worship. Yeah, you're not exactly sure of the exact significance. You know that elves do sometimes use stone circles in their worship. However, I mean, you would know that this is a place where an elven holy man would come to specifically commune with the spirits. To not even elves always believe like they get guidance from their ancestral spirits, but the priests and mystics believe that they can commune with them directly and get specific blessings and answers from them. And this is the kind of place an elven community would build so that the mystic could do that.
It's so fucked up that the paladin knows so little.
This is where the stupidest elves like to go.
But the paladin just doesn't understand these blasphemous religions.
Oh yeah, if we're talking about Melweir or whatever.
Melora. Yeah. Well, you mean you would know Melora, it's just that the elves have they have a weird way of worshiping her, and they don't even just worship her, they worship her and all of their ancestors combined. So, right. It's kind of like Arianism or any of the other branches of Christianity that got named heresy. So you now hear you realize now there weren't the sounds of many birds or insects, but you do hear a lone cricket begin to chirp now that the ghost is gone.
Oh, when I took damage, I should do the Constitution saving throw to see if I maintain the spell.
Nope.
So Helweir, you're no longer protected from ghosts.
I still have a light hat.
You do have a light hat.
So he thinks he's protected from ghosts.
Exactly.
Helweir is busily thanking T-Hole for getting rid of the ghost.
Light hats always keep ghosts away. They don't teach you that kind of thing, in normal school. Only T-Hole school.
Can I do a perception check to see or an investigation check to see if I can pick out anything unusual or any kind of clues about what's been going on here?
Yeah, you can try. I mean, you don't see that much here in the circle, so you don't really pick up anything new. I mean, obviously, you gather that was the ghost of the chieftain.
Yes. So I turn to my companions and say, "This is strange. This may in part explain the lights, but I do not think the spirit of the chieftain alone was able to manage such a strong blow to be seen from so far. I think we might best seek out the mystic's house and see what we might be able to find there."
I concur, but maybe we should raid his knicker drawers.
If that would make you feel better, I have no problem with you raiding the knicker drawers of the dead.
You never know.
So you proceed to, you have a rough sense of where the house was. So you proceed to make your way across the island. You don't see any animals or anything untoward. So I'll just move you over to the house. So the hut itself is pretty roughly made. It's wood, and the door hangs very loosely. There's no lock at all on it. One of the windows has, all of the windows have shutters on them. None of them have glass in the windows. The shutters on one of the windows appears to have been ripped off and are just lying haphazardly on the ground. There are pretty thick trees around the house, but you were able to see it nonetheless from when you were up in the falconry, because you were looking down on it. As I said, the door is basically unlocked and open. It looks as if it was hit forcefully enough that something nearly ripped it from its hinges.
In an amazing show of strength, Teal's gonna try to Van Damme the door.
Hey guys, I gotta get going.
All right.
Okay.
Hopefully,
We're doing
T-Hole and Hellweir manage without the guidance of Lushirosi.
Oh, we'll manage.
We'll see how we go.
Yeah. All right, take care, everyone.
Yeah, have a good
See
night,
you,
Hawk.
You too.
All right.
You there, Kurt?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry. So T-Hole, give me an athletics check.
Because T-Hole is thinking he sees this, like it's like nearly off his hinges. And he thinks, there's very rare chances that he can do something athletic. So maybe this is the chance.
I'll actually give you advantage because the door is pretty weak, and that is enough to send the door completely off its hinges and into the hut.
Sometimes I don't know my own strength.
Inside, you see there are 4 little lights that are just circling and moving around in a sort of semi-random pattern. But they appear to be darting around different spots in the cabin. Occasionally, one will zip out the open window, but it doesn't go very far before coming back in. You see the house is cluttered with books and scrolls are lying around all over the place. There's a bookshelf one bookshelf that seems to be intact. It still seems to have some books on it. There are papers cluttering around a table inside. There doesn't appear to be much in the way of furniture. There's 2 chairs and a couple of tables, and there's a small cot, and it's basically a 1-room home.
Now these lights, is there? I guess. Shucks. Can I use an action point instead of a spell slot?
Sure.
Because I want to cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
With 1 action point.
That's fine.
Okay.
So you still detect that's kind of, oh, that's right. Make me an intelligence save.
Oh, shit.
Man, it locked me out. Hold on a sec. I got to relog in. Maybe I don't. For some reason, my character sheet locked me out. Okay.
That's enough to make it. So you once again are sort of able to prevent yourself from being overwhelmed by the flood of magic that just seems to be coming from everywhere. You do detect that the lights themselves are magical.
Okay. Can I tell if they're coming from any particular source, like if they're bound by something?
No, but you get the sense that they are bound to stay within a certain radius of the hut, and within a certain. It's kind of like dancing lights. They're also forced to be within a certain radius of each other. But you don't think it is dancing lights. You think he's probably enchanted the hut or some area around the hut to keep the lights here permanently.
So, would this be the light which everyone's been talking about?
It could be, but these are probably not by themselves bright enough.
Right. Okay.
T-Hole's gonna rummage around and look through the papers sitting on the table.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
Yeah, Helwe's gonna hunt around for the crown, which everyone's talking about. Well, that elf thing was talking about.
Okay, you also give me an investigation check.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So what you don't find a crown. What you do find is on the books seem to be in that's the same script as the what was on in the Elven prayer that you read previously, or that or Hellweir read previously. Some of them appear to be in a different language than that. But what languages does T-Hole speak again?
Ataran and Draconic.
Right. So you don't recognize the second language. You do find a silver key, and then you find a note written in common that's sitting right on top on the table. It looks as if the note is unfinished because it appears to end mid-word. But here is the note you find. And the silver key was essentially on top of it.
Is there anything which Lucirosi would know about this so far? Like the temple or any of this stuff which they're talking about?
He's unaware. He would not be aware of any particular temples around here. I mean, any local community might have a temple.
Yeah.
But he would probably search too. I'll roll a d20 for him. Let's see. What's his... Oh, no. There is an ambulance or something going by, so my dogs are howling at the ambulance. Oh, his investigation is really good. So Lucirosi, digging around, finds a silver box beneath a floorboard.
And silver box, silver key. All right.
And opening up the box with the key, you find that there is a glowing crown. Well, no, it's not a glowing crown. I'm sorry. It's a what looks to be bronze and antler crown with some sort of yellow gemstone embedded in it. And actually, I didn't think about it, but this T-Hole would have noticed this because this is also magical.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
The silver box wouldn't have
The silver box is just it's like a shoebox size silver plated box, but the crown is magical.
Can I tell if the box is actually silver?
It's silver plated.
So, what do I know about? Now, is there any reason that T-Hole would think of like the significance of this being kept in a silver plated box, like, and for like warding or protection?
Well, give me a investigation check. You would guess that there might be, because it's you're sure it's plated, but it's plated inside and out. The base metal of the box that's plated over with the silver might, which could then keep you from detecting it normally.
Which might be you kind of cut out.
Oh, I said the base metal of the box itself that's plated over with the silver might be made of lead,
Okay,
which would prevent you from detecting it.
gotcha.
Which is my way of retconning that why you didn't detect it with the detect magic. So, but searching around, that is all you seem to find. You could get T-Hole to read, I guess, some of the books. But what languages does Hellware speak?
Uh,
Just Elven.
yeah, Elven, Dwarven.
So yeah, you can only read some of what's here. The books in Elven, which are things like the regenerative properties of Troll Manor, magical swordplay, a history, rituals of the Dryads.
Yeah, all basics. Probably books that I read before when I was hunting elves.
Yeah, or just books you would think are dumb.
Yeah, all that too. Yeah, that as well. Okay, and so is there a wind? You said there's a windmill on this island.
Not on the island. It's at the far edge of the village.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Towards the east.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, so after reading the note, T-Hole he remarks to Hellware and Lushirosi. Well, it seems rather clear that there's an issue with the darkness. Apparently, this darkness has become manifest, and it must take some form of which it uses to antagonize and attack people in this area. Perhaps this would explain the dancing lights around his hut to prevent it from ever getting dark. Must be a sad life living in such fear.
Well, they didn't protect him that well. He is not here, is he not?
Clearly not. But the lights are still. So in the note it talks about the power of like the Tor. Let's see. I have to like pop it open again, but it mentions the Tor.
Right.
Is there? I mean, anything mentioning Tors would kind of that would pique my interest.
Yeah, I mean, give me an investigation check on that. So yeah, you don't necessarily know to what extent. I mean, you imagine this guy who's been living here for many centuries and formed the town around the Tor knows more about what the Tor does than you do. But how much he knows versus how much he's guessing at, you're not sure of. I mean, most people assume that the elves are highly superstitious and they're worshiping spirits, and like they think individual trees and rocks have their own spirits in them. And so they're a very odd bunch. So they don't always get respect for figuring out like the specific properties of things as opposed to just assuming things have properties.
Gotcha.
Crushed.
So hold on just a second. I want to run and use the restroom. I'll be right back.
Yep. Yeah, and then you go check the roommate who came in a second ago.
Yeah. Hey guys.
Welcome back.
So you're almost done with uni for the year?
Yeah, so so first semester is technically down. My last class was yesterday. I have exams in a little over 2 weeks for 2 of my subjects.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I'm free for like another 4 weeks, and then I go back at it for another semester for another 13 weeks.
Wow. Do you do all year school?
Pardon?
Do you do year-round school?
Yeah, we've got 2 semesters. Yeah.
So I'm back.
Hey.
So what do you want to do?
Well, I mean, in general, or like in the game?
In the game.
Okay.
With your life.
So who are you?
Why are you?
So I guess
I'm thinking we.
is there I guess would be is there anything else that we've heard of that like might exist on this island other than the Mystic's hut?
All you heard of was the hut. You didn't even hear about the stone ring.
Gotcha.
But both of you make me a perception check.
Mm-hmm. Where am I? Perception. Oh, yeah, cool.
Okay. So you hear nothing.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So I guess T-hole might be. Now, is there like any kind of? We found the crown. He would probably be feeling pretty silly, and he generally feels silly, but he would put it on his head. Like
You put it on your head.
Yeah. So he's gonna move and put the crown on his head.
What's that thing in the screen in the corner of the screen?
What you failed your perception check. You saw nothing.
Okay, we saw nothing.
Hear no evil, see no evil, hear no evil.
You do for a second think you saw a light flash deeper in the forest that surrounds this house.
T-hole didn't pay attention. He was too enamored with the crown.
I think Hoey would just put it up to like just stupid wizards again.
So if I put the crown on or the tiara, do I notice anything, or I just got this thing on my head now?
Now you just have a thing on your head.
Okay.
I mean, you're sure it's magical because it detected as magic, but it's not obvious if it's doing anything right now.
Well,
okay.
So far, you are now the rightful king of Al Kaitor.
Haha! One village at a time, and I will reclaim my empire back.
Yeah. that's how it works, I guess.
So, well, it's pretty dark, so we should. It might be kind of dangerous to, row home. So maybe we should just kind of crash here for the night.
Well, we were meant to spy on that older lady, Elise.
Ah, that's true. But have you ever rowed a boat at night?
It would be not much different from riding a boat during the day.
Except you can't see where you're going. And you
I
can't
have-
see the rocks, and you can't see the shore. You just see darkness.
So roll initiative with me.
I have to click on my character. Here we go.
Oh wait, hold on a sec. Dang it. Forgot about that. Do you want me to re-roll, or do you want to?
Go ahead and re-roll.
Hey, what do you know?
So you're surprised because who knew there was anything out there?
I know, right?
But so you don't get to do anything this first turn as something passes through the trees and runs up to you and is going to attack Hellweir, I guess. Slightly closer.
Sense. So, okay.
So you have to make a
Con check.
DC 10 Constitution save.
Oh, it's a saving throw. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Safe.
So your hit point damage, your hit point maximum isn't reduced, but yeah, click here too. Clearly, I had the wrong setting on this thing, so I'm just gonna it already so it hit you, but let's see how much damage it actually did as it tries to drain the life from you. There's it. So you take 7 necrotic damage.
There we go.
And now it's your turn.
So I'm shocked, and I turn around and see. What do I see?
You specifically see. Hold on, I can show you exactly.
Uh-oh.
It looks to be another sort of incorporeal elf form, but it's very skeletonized.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I pull out my my hand axes and I swipe at the creature with one of them. Oh, baby.
So the way I do crits is you take your max damage, which in this case is 11, then add it to the 7, which is the first number. So it'd be 18.
18, and then sweet, yeah, I'll do that, and then I'll use my bonus action to swing again, but without the proficiency. So I'm not sure how I can add that. I think we just subtract 3 off it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, your
So-
strength. What's your strength, Mod?
My strength is +5.
Right. So basically, it's this -5 because you don't get your strength attack.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep.
So you still hit though.
Okay. And I seem mighty pleased with myself, seeing that I plunged my axe into it.
And
yeah,
you see another one hoves into view, coming through the trees as well. But it's T-Hole's turn.
T-Hole's going to actually says Hellweir, let's get inside. And T-Hole's going to disengage, and assuming that the ghost was next, or the specter was next to me.
It's not right next to you. It couldn't opportunity attack if you moved.
Okay, so then T-Hole's just going to move inside. Now, is there like a window?
There are various windows. They all have shutters over them, just wooden shutters. One of them has no shutters because they've been ripped off.
Okay. So is there a window with the window with the open shutters? Is it facing this ghost?
Yes.
So I move inside and then I'm gonna shoot a firebolt at the ghost from indoors,
Okay.
like out the window. Oh wait. Did I not set that up right?
You set it up so that it shows the spell card.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me fix that. Oh, wait, that's light, not firebolt.
So you go down to output.
To output.
Yeah, in the spell description. Just
Yes.
right above
Oh,
the
I
description.
see it.
If you click on that, one of the options should be attack.
Gotcha. Nah, I got it now. Should have done it.
Doesn't seem to.
Am I just not seeing it?
I don't see it either. Let me just check your character sheet and see. Oh, you didn't put in the damage for it. What is it? 2d10 now.
It's 1d10.
At 5th level?
Oh yeah, it's 6th. At 5th level, you're right. Just 2d10.
2D.
I got it. I must have missed that one. All right, now let's try it.
All that. Oh, it only rolled the damage. So to roll, for some reason, it didn't roll to hit.
Well, let's see. It's a 1d20 plus my intelligence modifier, which is 4.
Oh, it's because you don't have an attack thing filled in for it.
Oh man.
So it would be.
It probably wouldn't have hit anyway.
Yeah. But so back on your character sheet, on your actual core sheet, I'm just going to flip you back there for a second. I think if you just click Firebolt now, it should roll to hit and damage. Yeah, see like that.
Oh, gotcha.
So yeah, but a 7 did miss.
Yeah. All right. Well.
So, well, I think you did the hand axe, so it's the Spectre's turn now. It's going to lash out at Hellweir again because you're right there.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to assume Lucirosi's in Mallet's face. So he's not attacking, but he's not being attacked. And he may need to bring you all back to life anyway. First one misses. And the second one moves up and it's going to do the same thing.
Sorry, I thought I was meant to do a con save.
No, your armor class is 16, right?
Yeah, my armor class is 16, yeah.
So it just missed. The second one, however, hit. So now you can do a con save.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so you take 10 necrotic damage, but your hit point maximum remains the same.
I don't.
And it's your turn.
Hellweir, come inside.
Yeah,
You would have to disengage, or you would take opportunity attacks.
yeah, I'm gonna disengage and just run inside.
And it's T-Hole's turn.
T-Hole's gonna shoot another fireball out the window.
Yeah, the door is also wide open because someone kicked the door off its hinges.
He'll take whatever like shot he can get. So it's a 15.
That hits.
So yeah, 5 fire damage.
You get the sense when the firebolt hits it that it does damage it, but not by as much as you would think.
Ah,
So they're resistant to fire.
as like, and I kind of see that. It's like dress. That's all the tricks I have up my sleeve.
So the first specter comes in and is going to lash out. Make another con save.
Me?
No, hell.
Me. Yeah, I'm safe.
So you take 9 necrotic damage.
Okay.
The second one comes up to the window and is going to go for Hellweir, or go for T-hole rather. So make me a con save, T-hole.
Oh man.
You can use an action point, or your maximum hit points will be reduced by 13.
I'm gonna use an action point.
Holy shit.
So you take 13 necrotic damage. If you want to use your last action point, you can. Oh, you already used one to like.
Yeah, to cast a spell. Yeah. No.
So your maximum hit points are reduced, albeit temporarily, by 13, and your hit points go down by 13. And it's Hellweir's turn.
So the one which I landed a crit on is the one which is at the window, or the one which is in my face?
It's the one at the window.
Oh, fuck. Okay. So I'm going to use my two-hand sword and attack the one which is right in front of me.
Okay.
With this.
Does that hit?
Cool. And then I'm going to then use second wind. I think I've got.
Yep.
To get some health back in my bonus, using my bonus action. So second wind right here. Sweet, and I regain 12.
Okay. And it's T-hole's turn again.
Let's see. Hold on a second. All right. Teal's gonna. You see, kind of like the air around him crackle a little bit, and a wave, like a thunder wave, just kind of erupts around. Emanates from him. So everybody has to make a.
Well, Thunderwave is a cube, so you are on the face of one of the cubes, or one of the sides of the cube. So
Okay.
you wouldn't get Hellweir or the ghost on the other side of him.
I see. Well, okay. So then I'm gonna cast Thunderwave on the ghost in front of me.
Okay. What's the save it has to make?
15.
What's the ability score? Con.
Con, yeah.
Yeah.
Con save.
It failed.
So it's gonna take. Okay, so then. Cool. Submit.
That's 3d6
2d8.
or 2d8. Oh yeah, that's right. That's the Thunderwave. My bad.
So you see, it's how far does it get pushed back? 15 feet or 10 feet?
10 feet.
So it is pushed back, and you see, it seems almost like it's struggling to reform itself. But it finally does manage to do so. Although the edges of this specter appear smokier than before, and it looks like it's on its last legs.
So then there was also, you hear just a loud boom.
And with that, you begin to hear, like, these things are making kind of moaning noises, almost as if they're in pain. But you, in the distance after the boom, you hear a lot more of these things, and you begin to see lights shifting through the trees in the forest in the distance. So that there are probably a number of these specters floating around there.
All right. Hellware, we need to get out of here.
So the specter next to Hellware is going to attack him, but miss.
Oh, praise.
And this one's going to move back up, screaming as it reaches out with its arms and runs at T-Hole again. And hits. Make me another con save. So your maximum hit points are reduced by another 14.
13 or 14?
It was 13 last time, 14 this time.
Oh boy.
How you looking? I can't see your health bar.
I'm bloodied. Another one and I'll be done.
Oh shit.
So we gotta run.
Yeah, to the boat. If that's the best thing we can do, I don't know. Do we just jump in the water and start swimming?
You don't necessarily know if these things are stuck on the island or
Yeah,
could follow
right?
you or what.
We'll have a field day in the water with us.
Given that I just took 2 hits and that I am hurting right now, I probably wouldn't necessarily be all that anxious to swim unless I really had to.
Yeah, true.
So I would T-Hole suggests that we should probably try to run towards the boat.
Okay.
Well, it's Hellware's turn, so you could disengage and run around this thing or through it.
Okay, so yes, and then so if I disengage now, then it's T-Hole's turn next. Yeah.
You could disengage and move. I mean, you won't be able to double move if you disengage.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But if you don't,
Either that or we could head to the circle.
You think that's better? That's where we found the thing.
Yeah, well, we didn't find these ghosts. That was that was a little different. These are like evil spirits. That was like a ghost. So it may have a different effect on them. Like, would T-Hole know that?
you make a religion check.
No.
It's a good guess.
Right.
You feel like that makes sense.
So
I don't.
So I say we can either head to the boat or we can head to the circle. Both are risks. I mean, there's not like a good answer.
Okay.
But given that this guy lived on this island, I have to. T-Hole is convinced that something on this island must prevent these damn things from coming out. So.
I mean, just again, you are sure from looking at them that these are the spirits of elves. So it might be being an elf protects you.
That's true.
Is the crown's not like making them not attack him?
No.
Obviously not.
He is wearing the crown. On the plus side, him wearing the crown is not making them all gang up on him.
Yeah, true. You only look half as stupid.
So it's Hellware. What do you want to do?
Okay. Shit. I'm lost. Like, I'm good to keep swinging and fighting, but if there's like another 10 which are going to come from the bushes, without Luciorosi's help, without those smites, we're going to have a bit of a hard time here. How close? Like, so do we know? Are these things like the one which is at the window? Obviously, looks fairly close to death.
well, what we can assume is death.
Right.
What about the one which is next to me? No, not a chance.
You'd have to give me an insight check.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
you know you've hit him pretty hard,
Yeah.
comparably hard to how much you hit the other one.
How dead does he look?
Right, but it's hard to tell with an incorporeal spirit. You know, he doesn't look as bad off as the one at the window.
Yeah. Is there a way that we can like? Does it seem like they're going through walls and stuff like that as well, or have they like used like the wall?
It is. You saw them specifically passing through the trunks of trees, so the one at the window you can see as it has like clawed out at T-hole. Its arm has passed through part of the wall on that attack. Although the window is big enough that it probably could have attacked anyway.
Okay. Is there any way that I can taunt them to just attack me? Like, can I like leave myself open to like an attack? Like, can I give one of them like a chance of attacking me so that they are more, they have a better chance of, or what they have a more likely attempt of then attacking me? You know what I mean?
I mean, you could try it. I mean, it would basically, you could do either intimidation. I think it would be intimidation to try to get them to focus on you.
Yeah.
You know, you'll have to tell me what you're saying, and then I will determine whether or not that sways their decision on who to attack.
Oh, God.
But that makes sense to me that they might go for that.
However, the one thing you're good at is berating elves.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but they're already like they already want to die. So maybe maybe I say, hey, I'm gonna kill you. They'll be like, okay, please.
Or you like lift up your ears and be like, these are your mother's, or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I was specifically thinking you might be able to get them by like saying, look how many of you elf ears I have, and waving those around.
Yeah, okay. Well, I open like a small pouch in my pocket and I like tip all these elf ears out, and it just looks like it doesn't end. There's like at least 20 elf ears in there, and it just keeps on flopping out onto the ground. And so I'm beckoning at them.
So you're taunting them, saying, you know, look how many elves I've killed, and you're dropping elf ears onto the floorboards. You can, I don't know which is better for you or if they're the same, but you can make either persuasion or intimidation.
They're the exact same. So let's see how we go.
And let me just roll a d20 for these two. You see the specter at the window turns. It seems to be focused on you now.
Okay. Well, yeah, I take a swing at the one which is at the door then, and with my two-hand sword.
You can, after that, you see it is looking as ragged as the spirit at the window now.
Okay. Yeah, okay. That's me. And I sort of try to like shoot T-hole away, like into like a corner or something.
That's T-hole's turn.
Let's see. In every horror movie, when whoever runs into the woods to run away from the thing is always killed.
Run upstairs.
There doesn't seem to be upstairs here.
Get on the roof.
You're pretty sure they fly, so being on the roof might be disappointing as they levitate up.
And all I have are firebolts, and they're clearly.
You were doing some damage. I mean, the greatsword actually is they have resistance to that too. So his greatsword has just been doing like 13 damage, 15 damage.
Yeah, I've been doing solid damage, but it's like probably like 4 or 5 every time.
It's half. It's half of whatever you roll.
Right, so like 6.
So I have a magical dagger that we picked up. I haven't identified it yet, so I don't know what its spells are or like what it does. If I used it, even though I haven't identified it, would any of that come to play, or is that only after I identified it?
No, you're pretty sure. It depends on the spirit, but generally speaking, specters are vulnerable to attacks from magical weapons. So not vulnerable to them, but they're not resistant to the damage.
Okay, so I don't know what this dagger is because we picked it up. So what I'm gonna do is just I'll pull it out from my knickers, where I was keeping it safe, where everybody keeps their dagger, and I reach out to slash the specter in front of me.
Okay, roll to hit.
So I haven't actually added this yet. So I'm just gonna roll a 1d20
plus your dex modifier.
X. I'll take it. Aw, man.
Oh, rough.
Yeah, that is not enough. The spirit sort of swirls around and manages to avoid the attack.
And I'm gonna kind of try to if I back away, will it invoke an opportunity attack?
Yes, it will.
So then I guess I'll stay where I'm at.
Yeah.
Okay, Spectre's turn. They are both going to take swipes at Hellweir.
Yeah.
So first one misses big. The second one, the one at the window, steps through the wall partially, so that it's half inside the cut and half outside it, and also claws at you but misses. So Hellweir's turn again.
Yeah. Yeah, just keep swinging. Great sword attack against the one at the door. Were there ones in there? There was a one in there. I've got great weapon fighting, but I don't think is it applying like the extra, like the reroll of the one?
You'd have to just manually reroll the one.
There we go. So it becomes a 14 instead.
Right, and I'll tell you right now, that actually was the magic number to get rid of this one. So if you had not re-rolled it, it would have still been around, but just barely. But
Nice.
Bye-bye.
But as you swipe through it this time, you hear it scream distinctly. There's an and it disperses and vanishes.
That was really good. Have you been practicing?
Spectre scream? No.
I couldn't tell. You know.
And it's hell.
I was like, is that a special effect or something? Like,
it's T-Hole's turn.
And T-Hole's he's gonna let's see, if I look around, is there what else do I notice, like if I look, I'm assuming that he's dealt with these things or that he at least knew of them. Can I tell if there's any kind of implements or
well, give me an insight check. You don't see anything specific in here that would be used to deal with ghosts. you might, given your intelligence and passive investigation, you might surmise that these ghosts aren't always hostile. But, you recently dispatched the ghostly chieftain and took the crown.
Ah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
okay. So, I guess I'll just do a firebolt on it.
Okay.
Oh, that's rough.
So you miss the specter. The firebolt shoots past it. Although you now see there is the beginning of a forest fire in the
Sweet.
dry late autumn foliage.
Hey, at least we'll be able to see.
Are you gonna do like the fire effect? Isn't there like a fire thing in Roll20?
Oh, like music.
I mean,
No.
there is there. I mean, I could specifically do like a little animated fire effect, but it doesn't last super long.
Oh, okay.
So, like something like this would be.
Oh, cool.
Shh.
Nice.
So the specter is going to again attack.
Mm-hmm. I need to do a con save. I definitely fail that one.
Do you have any action points left?
Nope.
So your
Hey.
maximum hit points are reduced by 11 as you take the damage.
Okay.
And it's your turn.
Okay.
So
And I also lose 11 hit points, don't I?
yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yep, got it.
So you
Okay.
can you basically either have to attack at disadvantage because you're not lined up with the window,
Mhm.
or you have to go outside.
But isn't this like halfway? Isn't it halfway through? So
That's true. You'd still sort of be at disadvantage though because you're kind of half attacking the wall as it moves around.
Can I just can I budge T-Hole out of the way so I can get a clear strike? Will that give him will that make him be attacked at opportunity?
No, if he's willing to be bumped out of the way, you can do that.
T-Hole would be willing. He likes it rough.
Yeah, I slam him. And then I take a strike at the fiend thing. Wraith.
Okay.
That was a horrible roll. I'm gonna reroll. I can only reroll one of them, so I'll get rid of the one, obviously.
I thought you could reroll any ones and twos.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, let's reroll the whole thing. That'll do.
That's less.
Is it? How though?
Well, no, because it's that you then add your 5 in, I guess.
Yeah. So.
And so with
Yeah,
that one also, you hear another, "Ah!" and it vanishes.
Nice. That's on fire. Okay.
It's pulled down to hell.
Wow. Okay. Thanks, Lucia Rossi. And and this is when I guess we run for the boat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Right so we're gonna try to run from the boat.
Yeah. Wherever it is.
Yeah.
Give me that torch. There's that torch.
So the boat is in the lower.
Yes.
The lower area. So we will just run straight towards the steps.
As you're moving, you do see ghostly figures are moving through the forest, not necessarily for you or in your direction, but they're out there.
Yeah. Cool. Just keep running.
So you are able to make it to the boat.
We are or aren't?
You are, but make
Okay,
a
cool.
perception check.
Perception. I perceive nothing. It is too dark.
Because one of those things has picked up your trail and is following and is going to attack T-Hole.
Oh,
Oh, poor T-Hole. Oh,
It is-
rough.
It is not a crit, but you have to make a DC 10 con save.
is there anything I can do? I don't think so.
Well, you made the con save. So you took 16 damage, but your hit point maximum wasn't reduced.
Yeah, so that puts me at 0 hit points.
So you are unconscious, but not dead.
Okay. And it's pretty rabid still. Like it's still going for him. Like it's going all like.
No, it looks like it wants to kill all of you.
Okay. Well,
I mean, so you could fight it, or you could get in the boat and leave T-Hole behind.
no, that's he's not an elf, so you know, I'm not that mean. So let's fight.
I mean, if you want to fight it, I will say Lucirosi will pick up T-Hole and place him in the boat.
Yep, that sounds good. I'll fight the wraith.
And he'll, use his turn to cast Spare the Dying, so you don't die.
Sounds great.
Sounds like something Lucirosi might do.
Yep.
Yeah, hopefully.
Some muttering some Asherosi prayer over me.
Yeah. Yeah, some mumbo jumbo. So we're gonna cut this guy up.
That does. Let me check. That does not hit him.
Okay.
You
Well,
missed.
Well, let him go. Let him have an attack. Give him a fair chance.
He missed.
Yep. We're gonna have like one of these miss roll attack, like one of these terrible fights where we just keep missing each other. Yeah, I thought so. Yep.
Nope.
Nope. All right.
So
Con
make a
save.
con save. That does
Cool.
not-
I
that
do not
does not-
save. How
you
much?
You take 12 necrotic damage and you lose 12 from your maximum hit points.
Mm-hmm. 12. Okay.
And if T-Hole wasn't unconscious, he might be saying something like "get in the boat," but
Oh, I've got a couple hits left in me. Let's swing again. Where is it?
That hit.
Yep. Cool. You're up. Con save.
Yep.
Save. Just lose 9.
Yep.
Oh, these things only take a little while. How about we'll go hand axes. Actually, do I get more? It'd be essentially the same. No, let's just go great sword. All right, swing.
That hits.
All right, your turn.
T-Hole is just his hands twitching. Does spare the dying mean I'm conscious?
No. It just
Phew.
means you're not dying. It
Phew.
missed.
All right, one more hit. Is it dead?
It is not dead. It doesn't.
Oh my.
Judging from what you've seen before, it is not doing well, and probably you could kill it with another hit.
Yeah, I don't have a thing, so your turn.
It missed.
Oh, praise the sun. All right, one more hit. There we go. Bye-bye. Oh, actually, I need to re-roll them.
Actually, that's enough. So,
That's enough. Cool. Splat.
although you do see more lights moving in the forest.
Yeah, nah. Let's get on the boat. I'm done fighting these. Let's go.
So can we say that Lucirosi is like he was like in he was like the getaway driver, but with the getaway the getaway oarsman.
Right. Well, somebody had to actually push drag the boat up onto the sand, onto the shoreline. So while after he put you in there and cast Spare the Dying, he was heaving the boat with all of his might back into the water. But Hellweir then splashes through the water and jumps in next to Lucirosi and your still unconscious body. And you sail away, and you see these two specters come up to the edge of the water, but don't seem to go more than maybe a few inches off the sand of the beach, the dry sand of the beach. So you sail away, and they disperse into the air, vanishing again. But you do see there is now a cloud of lights moving around the island. And this looks very much like what Lucirosi described as the blue and white lights flickering in the distance.
So it's a cloud of lights, or are they like lights in the trees, like from the specters?
It's a lot of lights from the specters but it must be a lot of specters that are moving around on this island.
Ah.
Oh my god.
I'm sure Mike will be thrilled to know that after he left, we almost died.
So you can the closest shoreline is basically next to where Clump-Lavoon's cattle land is.
Okay.
I mean, that's just a couple, maybe 200 yards from one end of the island. It's probably about 400 yards from where you are.
So
I mean, you're able to get back there, I mean, unless you wanted to take the boat back to where you picked it up from. But probably Clump-Lavoon's wouldn't care.
Yeah, let's just ride it to the most convenient spot and then head to the inn, I guess. Is that our plan? Or are we just going to sleep with the cows for a night?
Well, I'm unconscious, so
yeah.
I technically in role playing I couldn't give any advice.
Yeah, you get to make all the decisions right now.
Oh, cool. Yeah, great. I normally don't even make this. I normally just there for the ride. All right.
I mean, actually, I'll say by the time you get back to the shore, it probably takes a good 20 minutes to half an hour, because it's only Hellweir's the only one doing the rowing, really, as Lucirosi goes back into mallet space. And so T-Hole wakes up in that time with 1 hit point.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
It's not actually that late, by the way, because you got to it's close to the beginning of winter now, so it's getting dark relatively early. So it's probably only about 7 p.m. when you fought the original ghost, and it's probably, even after all the searching of the hut and everything, it's probably only maybe 8 or 9 p.m. now.
Okay.
Well, I tell Lucirosi to pocket the crown so no one else can see it.
Oh, I'm the king.
No, you'll be a dead king soon. Now, I guess we will head to the inn, and we will hopefully seek quarters there. We can get Lucirosi to do some spying on the old woman if he is willing to do it. While we rest.
I'm sure he probably will be. It's good to make it. It's good to sign him up for things.
Yeah, that's right. Get him to do that.
Yeah. Lucirosi, I'll say Lucirosi, he's gone off to tell Clump-Lavoon's where her boat is. And he said he'll meet you back at the inn later. So he's not actually around to take orders.
Oh.
Yeah, of course.
Right. Lucirosi, go back and clean out that island of all those specters.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
go make yourself useful.
Right. We need some XP, and we feel like you could kill a lot of them.
You probably would have been a great help,
Yeah. Instead, he stood next to the door. He was like, "Go on in."
I would say specters are CR1, so They're not expected to like kill people, really. I don't think.
Yeah, well, no magic weapons or no silver weapons makes it quite a hard fight for us.
Yeah, you had a magic weapon. Just only got used once.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as we stumble back to the inn,
Yeah, I carry you. I'm carrying you to the inn.
I mean, I have 1 point, so
Okay.
I could probably walk. I'm probably stumbling and not walking very fast.
Yeah.
So it's about 2 or 3 miles to get to the inn. So it takes a little bit of time. Given that with the injuries and everything, probably about an hour to make it to the inn. So it's about 10 p.m. when you make it to the inn. You can see,
good
like
time.
previously, Lucia Rossi described the lights on the island as beginning at around midnight. But now you can see, like there are people coming out of their homes because of the howling from the island, and the moving of the lights is much greater and much earlier than it has been previously. But you can see they're kind of staring at the lights, and you imagine that like Elise and Alec that you pass by when you're going to the inn, they're basically just like, man, that Gruzza and her goddamn lights.
We do not have time for these simpletons. Let us just rest, and we can deal with them another time.
So you go inside the inn. The door is unlocked, so you can go in. You see, there's only a single lamp on. So the prior night it was very brightly lit. Now it's just the one lamp. Haverford is there, but he's kind of slumped back in a chair and turns to look as you come in, and is like, "Hey, how did things go today?"
And T-Hole's like barely on his feet, and then he kind of spits on the floor, and there's like a bit of blood in his spit. He's like, "You should really." He's like, "What's on that island anyway? We almost died out there."
What island?
The Mystic Island.
Oh, you went to Amras's island? There's nothing out there. It's just a hut and his little religious circle where he communes with his gods.
Oh, that island. It's like if you look outside, and he kind of nods. It's like you'll see little lights. That the whole island's filled aflame with spirits. They almost killed us. I'm going to bed, and I kind of walk up the stairs.
So you walk up the stairs, go to your room.
Yeah, I just say, I do not have time for you, Haverford, and hopefully Lucia Rossi can explain it to you. I am heading as well. And I head upstairs.
So you head upstairs, you go around the hallway past a bunch of empty rooms and get to the rooms that you were given. Or you just resting now?
Yeah, long rest.
Long rest.
Okay, so your hit point maximums return to normal.
Sweet.
And you wake up, and it's actually, given particularly T-Hole almost died, it is later in the morning than you normally get up as you sleep in a bit. But it's probably about 9 or 9:30 a.m. when you finally wake up.
Okay.
And T-Hole, you see that there is under your door, somebody has slipped a piece of paper.
He would get up to read it.
You pick it up. It says, "We don't need your kind here. Get out or else." And "or else" is underlined.
Is it signed by anybody?
Nope. They bravely left it unsigned.
Bravely. Brave Sir Robin. Sir Robin. Now, does the handwriting look like a male's or a female's?
Give me an investigation check. You would guess that it was a male's handwriting, although that could be wrong.
Gotcha. So it's kind of messy.
Yeah,
Okay.
not to be sexist about handwriting.
I mean, fair. My writing is chicken scratch, and I write a lot. So
My writing's very, very clear, but you could still tell it's not a woman's handwriting.
I've got doctor's script.
so I'm still in my knickers, and I walk out, and I knock on Hellweir's door, and
Which is wide open.
One thing you would have noticed in Amras's hut was there was absolutely no drawers whatsoever. He didn't have like cabinets or anything like that. And although there were some clothes there, they were mostly robes and not a pair of underwear in the entire place that you could find.
Oh, so yeah, I guess T-Hole would have been. He probably would have noticed that.
Yep.
He's starting to get a queer feeling about this place, and it's not the specters or the ghosts. It's the fact that nobody wears underwear except him. He's starting to think that everybody except the three of us are crazy. Dwarves without beards, no underwear, commando everywhere. It's just going. It's getting into a little much. But he knocks on the invisible or the door of Hellweir's, and he's like, "They're trying to boot us out. Do you believe this? After everything we went through for them, we drank their beer, we ate their cheese, we
pushed them off ladders.
And this is how they repay us, with threats. Maybe we should send them to that island."
It seems like our new quest is to find out who wrote that letter so I can kill them.
I wouldn't mind if you harvested a couple elf ears from this asshole.
Yes, I left my elf ears on that damn island. I'm not going to get them back.
Well, at least go down for breakfast. Maybe we'll have enough hospitality to at least receive a meal before we head out. So T-Wol's just gonna. Yeah, he's just going to go downstairs, still in his underwear.
So you go down. You don't actually see. You don't see Haverford there, but the woman, the female elven serving woman you met the previous morning, is there, and she goes and gets you whatever you want. And that's a fair place to wrap it up because it's getting late. But before I completely end it. Let me just check to make sure. You could identify, using the long rest, you could identify the crown and the dagger if you wanted.
Yeah. I was actually trying to save a spell back so I could identify it, but then had to use all of it. So would I burn 2 spell slots for identify that?
No, you can just. I just play by the default rule that says that if you take enough time, I tend to say rather than a short rest, it takes a long rest. But you basically can investigate an object by just playing with it for a while and eventually suss out what it does. Identify is a good spell because it lets you do it right away, instantly, and it'll give you, the way I play it, at least, it'll give you some of the lore with it.
Okay.
And a lot of these items will have some lore attached to them. So you may want to do history checks or something, depending on how interesting it is. I mean, maybe even a dagger +1 probably has some history to it. But
yeah.
So who wants to identify? You can do one each. Who wants to identify the crown and who wants to do the dagger?
I'll do the dagger. I think I'd be more interested in that, especially if it's the Wraith Killer 9000.
It's not exactly the Wraith Killer 9000. It's not nothing though. So you can read those. I will move those up so that they're sort of at the top and you can find them a little more easily. Under
Okay.
the, jour-
Oh, you
under
had
the
to
journal
attune
tab.
to it. Okay, that was the issue.
Let's see. You're immune to any spell or magical effect requiring intelligence. So basically, really weak intelligence or wisdom saves.
Right. Like actually, once you're attuned to the crown, though, it would the DC on like it would actually, if you would cast detect magic and failed, got like a 1, you would have been stunned for a minute. But it's only like a DC 5 save, so you really would have had to have rolled a 1, but you wouldn't even have to roll with this.
Gotcha.
But for some reason, given the note, Amras thought this particular power was important. The more useful effect, generally speaking, is probably that you get 1 automatic success on an intelligence or wisdom saving throw a day.
Yeah, that's good. Good to know. Good to have. T-Hole's gonna like keep it somewhere.
And
He's
the
not
dagger,
gonna. He's
the
not
dagger,
gonna wear it, but
the dagger.
Pretty useful.
You have to attune to both of these to use them. The dagger's +1, but it also lets you once a day re-roll an attack, ability check, or saving throw. So
Yeah.
it basically enhances your luck.
okay.
How many things can you attune to? Can you attune to 2? 3. Okay, cool.
What's the
yeah.
process for attunement? I don't remember.
It takes a short rest to do it, but basically that's it. You basically just sit and concentrate on the item during a short rest.
Gotcha.
So it takes an hour or so to do it.
Okay.
Nice. They might be pretty useful for you, knowing that you're squishy.
Yeah. Anything, to help
Yeah.
with that would be helpful.
Yeah. No, cool. All right.
All right.
Good
So
show.
next Thursday.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. I'm like super free for like at least 2 weeks. So if there's any extra days we want to do, I'm keen. If not, well, Thursday sounds great.
Okay.
All right, guys.
See ya.
I'll see you later.
See ya. Thanks, guys.
But